Brings back down to black and red. Comes into there. Black and red continues out through the wiring harness. Okay. Hey folks, welcome back to Abundant Life Homestead. If you've been following along all of my maintenance on this Kubota B7100 HST-D, then you know I've just got my dash panel off. I'm getting ready to do a lot of wiring. If you saw an earlier video that I jumped in and tried to help at least give direction on troubleshooting a guy that had no lights whatsoever on his tractor, then you know that I came across a whole lot of problems in here myself on my own tractor, and that made me change my mind and the direction I'm going to take some of this. But it's all going to start off pretty similar as it was anyway. I'm going to be taking most of this out and keeping some of the good switches, replacing some of the switches, and replacing a whole lot of the wiring. So that's where we're going to begin. Okay, it probably goes without saying, but if you're going to start something like this, make sure you get a copy of your workshop manual. Specifically, this is section N from the workshop manual. It's all of the electrical system, and it has your schematics in it. Assuming you, if you're going to get into this, we assume you know a lot, or at least some familiarity with electrical systems, with reading schematics, all of that. But I've got my schematic up here, and that's what I've been using for today and that old headlight video I was doing. Okay, I'm going to start off by unwiring the key switch. Let's see, to get these out of the way, we're going to go ahead and pop some fuses out here. So the center post of your key switch, this is where power comes in. If you saw the headlight video, you saw this is also where I found that the wire going to my hazard lights had corroded off. I don't want my hazard lights anyway, but knowing there's that corrosion in that connector, this will get replaced before long. Push those off to the side. And my screw back in here so I don't misplace it. Now coming off this side of my key switch, this is marked AC for accessories. This has my headlight wires, the work light if the work light is installed, and it has your oil pressure light. There's also another couple wires coming off of here, but we found that somebody had previously messed with the wiring in this tractor. Not it. It must have been before me. The only thing I've done inside the dash panel is replace the hour meter right after I got it. But we're going to take all of this off. And when we put it back together at a later point, we won't include the necessary stuff. We won't include the unnecessary stuff. It would be just like me not to include the necessary. So, pull those back. Put my screw back in the post for now. On this side of my key switch, we have what should be marked as a 17, I believe. Yep, 17, and this goes to one wire goes to my glow plug indicator, the other wire actually goes to the glow plugs. No problems there with this tractor, but we're still going to pop that off just to get the wiring out of the way. Alright, peel that out. Now, I probably need to just go ahead and remove the key switch before I attempt to unscrew these back two. A lot of corrosion in these little screws. When I clean this up, I'm going to replace those as well. So this white and black wire goes to the other side of your glow plug indicator. We're going to pull it off. the other white and black wire that is in the slot that says 50. I wonder if we can even see all this as we're kind of pushing up to the end of the camera, aren't we? Okay, the other black wire that says 50, this is what grounds your starter when you go to start your tractor. This might not have been the best pliers for this job, but loosened it enough. Well, it's a rubber type ring. Oh, I just broke it. Make sure we replace that. Oh, that was what was holding it in though. Okay. Back to where we were on this side. Save all the pieces for that ignition switch. Okay. Put that back in place, put that little seal down there, screw this back on. Put my key back in and set this off to the side. We know we're going to remove the horn switch. We already pulled the horns, and if need be I can go back and show that. It's real simple, just one bolt holds your horns to the firewall. And then there's a disconnect with a fuse built into the stock wiring. These horns have never worked, and it seems kind of silly to have a horn on here. I have never been on the tractor and thought, man, I wish my horn worked. And this just makes room for another switch. But actually, it probably won't be a switch. I'm not going to be able to do it this round because I don't have parts, but I think this hole where I'm pulling the horn switch out of, I want to put a charge light in here. Something that'll tell me when the tractor is charging. And the reason I want to do that, I've mentioned before, the one and only time I've ever overheated this, my dyno went out and I didn't know it. And of course the fan is on the front of the dyno, and all of a sudden I started smelling a burning belt and then steam everywhere, and I had overheated the tractor. Okay, back on the back side. Horn wiring should just come apart now. Bring itself loose. We'll leave those attached for now because we have no intention of putting any of that back in. Okay, so next here we're going to pull the wire off the right side of my glow plug indicator. That's just because it is attached to a big part of the wiring harness. That's a 8mm socket. Alright, get that out of the way. Now, got the screw up in here, which is the ground wire for my hour meter. And then pull that off. Yep, I'm going to get a wrench for that.
The time is 5 p.m. and this is the W90BH repeater.
Let's see, that should be about a 10mm, eh? Yep. There we go. It should be loose enough to do it with a screwdriver now. Put the screw back in. Should have quick disconnects here on the on your hour meter. Pop them off. One here. Okay. Pull that up out of the way. Just quick disconnects on the rectifier. They're quick unless they've been connected for 20-30 years, then they're not so quick to get off, but they come off, they make it. Oh, guess I don't want to let go. Right, there we go. Okay, and then that should leave, that leaves the headlight switch and the flasher switch. Headlight switch, they're soldered on the back. I'm going to be replacing this switch because we found one broken there when we were doing the headlights. And flasher switch I'm going to be replacing because I'm not going to be using my flashers anymore. And I think our best course of action would be pull those from the front. Okay. So the switch itself, flasher switch has a Phillips head here. Alright, we pull that off, slide the knob off the top, set that off the side for a minute. I'm going to assume this is like the key switch, and this bezel here needs to twist off. Yep. There we go. Drop it down through, keep your seal if you want. Headlight's going to be the same way. Our screw is down here. Back the screw out, pull the knob. felt seal under it, but it's holding just enough that it's not releasing the switch. That probably was rubber at one time. Long ago and far away, that was a piece of rubber. And that wasn't enough to release it, was it? It's just really tight. It'll back out when we pull on it. Maybe. They didn't leave much room for play there, did they? There we go. Alright. So, that's most of the wiring harness out of our dash panel. We'll start doing our modifications from there. So right now what I'm going to do is first remove unnecessary wiring. Stuff that I know I don't need in there. For one is the flasher circuits, which come off of the orange wires in here, which if you have it turned this way, it'll be left-hand center and center. We're going to come up in here, pop that little tab. There we go, got that one. Okay, pull both of the orange wires out of here. Up here. Working through. And these both connected on the other side to the flasher switch. Set this off to the side. The small red goes to an optional work light that I've never had and probably never will. If I run, when I do run my auxiliary lights again, I don't run them through this old corroded wiring harness anyway. So we're going to pull this one out and get rid of it. And it is center bottom. Pressure on that. Don't need that one anymore. And it goes to a fuse, and the other end of the fuse was up in a pigtail. But we'll pull this off for now, set it off to the side. So what we should have left, the thick red wire comes from our battery. The blue wire should be our oil pressure switch. The brown and black wire is our headlights. The two gray wires run to our rectifier from our dyno, and the black and red wire is for our glow plugs. Looks like there's quite a bit of corrosion in that headlight wire there. I don't like that. There's some of my glow plugs too, although they've not had any trouble. When it's all said and done, I'll probably pull those out, clean them up real good, put some dielectric grease in them, put them back together. So that end of the wiring harness, we've got rid of everything we don't need at the moment. Okay, so we got this wire that has the battery cable coming out of the wiring harness. It has a second red wire that heads to the rectifier. This came off of number 30 here the power in on our key switch. And this had corroded, and we lost the wire to the flashers. I can also see some broken wires down inside of here. We're going to cut this off. We're going to put a new ring terminal on it, and then when I add a wire for my halos, I'll just have a separate them on a separate ring terminal. So let's cut these back. Hopefully we got good copper under here and don't have to replace the cables themselves. And don't look too bad in there. Okay. Instead, we're going to run a piece of shrink tube down here. I need one size bigger, don't I? Yep, I'm not going to force those in there. Alright, one size bigger. Slide it down over here. Push them all the way up through. Grab my crimpers. Got a pretty good crimp right there. Run the shrink tube up. And we got a nice secure connection that should last another 40 years. Move on down the wiring harness here. Say these untangle stuff. These thick black wires go to my glow plugs. They've been in pretty good shape, so we don't need to mess with those right now. Here's the red wire that goes to the rectifier. Pull it, move it back. That connection's pretty bright. Looks like it's still good. I originally shrink wrapped on that. That's the way to do it. And gray wires. These go to the dyno. There's a little bit of corrosion in this one. We can probably clean it up before it's all said and done. Might even shrink wrap it. I don't know. We'll see. Or if need be, we can put new connectors on it. Second gray wire goes to the dyno. Same deal. It's a little corroded down in there. Pretty decent shape. Brown and black wire. End of brown and black wire broke off. This was for headlights. We're going to set this down off to the side for now. I need to make sure I know what size blade I need to use for my new switches. Blue wire, this goes to our oil pressure lamp. It's got a quick disconnect right here. So we can go ahead and pull it apart. There we go. So the only thing we'll have to come back to on this is my brown and black for my headlight switch. And just like the hazard lights, it corroded. It's all green and came apart in there. Okay, so we got the rest of these wires laying through here. This is the red and white wire that went to my hazard lights. It had corroded off at the key switch. We're going to come through here and follow it down. It is taped off to where it went into the flasher, and then the green wire came off of the flasher and to the light switch for the flashers, and it was corroded off. So both the red and white wire and the green wire we're going to pull out of here for now. They won't be replaced. Okay, this end comes off of my accessories switch. The red wire went to the work light, which has never been installed on my tractor. It was a factory option. The red and blue, let me open my schematic here again. The wind blew it over. Red and blue coming off of accessories is what goes to headlights. So we're going to need that. But we are going to put blade type fuses in these. Solid red goes back to the other side of my oil pressure sensor. Now what I believe I'm going to do, I'm getting ready to make another parts order, and I don't care if this takes a few days, it'll be fine. I'm going to replace this with an LED bulb, so I'll wait until I get that to figure out the wiring here. I'm going to replace these fuses with blade type fuses. This will remain headlights. This will probably be front bucket lights, and I will have to add one more. That pigtail is good and corroded anyway. I'll have to add one more for rear lights, rear auxiliary lights. So we'll get into that. So this is where, yes, I got into something interesting here. Okay, the blue and red that came off of that, off of the accessory port, the blue and red that came off of there went to the headlamp switch, and then it also jumped, pigtailed from that same terminal, and went to the hour meter. The hour meter jumped and went to something that broke at some point, and went back to the accessory switch, and I do not for the life of me know why they did that. And it's not in the diagram, it's not stock. Somebody added these with several different sizes of wire, and I'm not going to leave them like that. It's unfortunate I had this tractor for so long and I never got into the wiring like I have been. This other black wire, this is the ground for my hour meter. We're going to leave this like it is, set it off to the side. No wonder they never worked. This blue and white, this 24 is the horn. Okay, that's interesting, looking at my schematic over here. Okay, so number 25 here is your horn switch. Blue and white goes to the horns, and then coming off the horns was a red that went back to the hour meter. So one of the extras off the hour meter, so my horns must have never worked because somebody chopped up this wiring. Okay. Well, we will, not that I want horns on there, but I may be able to test out my horns and see if they work. So it's funny what you find when a previous owner has gotten a hold of stuff. say in my other videos with parts I pull off, I save everything I pull off the tractor, and actually in my workshop manual I will sit down and create another schematic. I'll leave the original schematic and I'll create one for the way I altered it. So at very least, if my boys want to keep the tractor long after I'm gone, they can sit down and either restore it back to original, or they can open the books and know exactly what Dad did. And I do that with everything from my old Army truck to my old Farmall A. I do that with all of them just because I've had so many problems with hack jobs and chop jobs from previous owners. It's not fun when you're trying to figure out what the last guy did. We are going to pause it. It's starting to get late. I'm going to clean up my tools. I'm going to go in and order some parts, and we'll get back into this soon.